How's it going, everybody? Rye here today, and we are back with our Anaheim Ducks franchise mode. Today, guys, we are in the Year 8 playoffs, trying to defend our Stanley Cup championship that we won just last season. And I hope you guys are ready. We had a phenomenal regular season. And if you are ready, can we get this video to 10 likes? Make sure to hit that like button. That does help a lot. And lets me know that you guys are enjoying this series and you do want to see it continue. Also, make sure to subscribe because we are on the road to 4K. And guys, I'm really hoping that we hit 4K at the end of this year. I do have another plan for some more series. We're gonna do our our draft to glory, with a team that I will mention later in this series. We still have our expansion draft franchise mode with the New Orleans Admirals, and I'm going to start bringing you weekly one episode. Can we win a cup in 3 to 5 seasons? You guys let me know how many seasons you think would be good for that. I'm thinking 3 to 5, somewhere in that range. 5 is a lot of seasons. 3, I could make some wheeling and dealing moves. It would be tougher, and you guys let me know which teams you want to see first with that. I know some of you guys have said Nashville, Detroit, Philadelphia, and this will be a way for me to get teams done that I haven't done before. Haven't done this year, and it's a way that, you guys asked me for some teams. I asked for some recommendations, and I really appreciate that. And I'm only going to be able to choose one for the draft to glory, but this way I can also do a standard owner mode. Let's get the Stanley Cup in there as well. So that is the plan for the future of our channel here in 2022. After 1 month, we're on a great path, guys. But speaking of a great path, let's get on the path back to the Stanley Cup Finals here. And our first round opponent, the first challenge in our way, is the Edmonton Oilers, who finished 44-30-8, kind of 5-3-2 average on their way to the playoffs. We only lost 20 games in regulation. We got a point out of 62 games. That's insane to me. Just putting it that way is honestly mind-boggling. But here we go. These are the lines we are going to rock with. Santivori, Zegras, and Tomasino. That's the first line. I think it's been for 2 years now. As long as Tomasino's been here, right? This is his 3rd season. He's been on that first line. A little bit less, but hey, I'll take it. We won more games. It's about team wins, not about individual accolades. Second line is Pete Montgomery with Dvorak and Tarasenko. Dvorak, traded for him at the deadline. Been a very good acquisition. 18 points in 18 games as our second line center and a plus 12. Moving down, we've got Santivori with McTavish and Krebs. Pretty good there. And then Quinn Clark, Callan Lind, and Braden Tracy. So we got a lot of younger guys here, a bright future. Pete Montgomery's a perfect fit for the second line, and I feel like that's where he's going to stay. He's a second line power forward goal scorer. We just need to surround him with talent. Ricard Santivori could be one of those guys that goes up there with him. He has a sniper with another X factor as well, so these two guys can eventually play on the line together once they get good enough. And then Quinn Clark, another good goal scorer. He's low elite. Maybe he'll grow into something spectacular. We drafted him in the 7th round. He's already making a contribution, which is more than I would have thought. Taking a look at the defense, we are going to have Dahlin and Drysdale for quite a few years left. 3 years for these guys. Drysdale is also here for 3 years, so both of these guys expire at the same time. Matt McDonald's going to be our second line, or our second pairing defenseman for a long time. He seems to really thrive in that role, and at 24 and 82, he might not get too much better. Eric Chernak, probably going to be his last rodeo with the team, so hopefully we can go out and win back-to-back cups for him. And then Olin Zellweger, a guy I called up just on a whim because we needed somebody, has been really good. And then Riker Evans, stepping up to the plate when needed. So he's been solid for us as well. This third pairing is not one I'm too concerned with because they play well together. That's all I care about. And then in goal, it is going to be Thatcher Demko. I know Lucas Dostal was up there, but he was starting the last game. But Thatcher Demko is starting to regress just a bit. 86 overall still. Back-to-back phenomenal years with the defensive coach. I mean, you can just see instantly with a defensive coach as the head coach, his numbers skyrocket. So this is the first year of the sim, and you take a look here, he was not above a 910 at all, or below. A 2.69 was his career low, and now we're hovering around 2.5 goals against per game and a 915 save percentage. So guys, get yourself a defensive coach if you are struggling to have your goaltenders simulate well. But those are our lines for this playoff run. I may make some changes here and there, but let's go ahead and see what the Edmonton Oilers have to throw up against us. And yeah, it's a very good first line with Draisaitl, McDavid, and Yamamoto. McDavid, a good season for him. Probably not his best, although, yeah, not his best by a long stretch, but he's not the dominant McDavid we're used to seeing. Leon Draisaitl and Kyler Yamamoto surround him. Then they have Dmytro Timashov with Matthew Savoie and Xavier Bourgault. I think is how you say that. The X Factors do scare me. He's got a superstar X Factor. He has zone abilities, or he's got a zone ability, and he has superstar abilities, which is a little bit intimidating. Plus, they're stacked down here with Gary McKenna, Miles Dryden also having a zone ability and then superstar abilities. And then Riley Tuft, Elias Anderson, and Jan Yannick here as well. It's a solid fourth line. I mean, this is a good forward core. Defensively is lacking just a little bit. They don't really have that high-end talent, but they still have Darnell Nurse with his superstar abilities, Rasmus Anderson, Nick Hague with Ryan Pulock, Dante Fabro, and Emil Vero. So they must have traded for Fabro at the deadline because I remember seeing him as an option, and yes, they did. He's been solid for them since he's gotten there, so that's something that we'll look out for. And then in goal, they've got Connor Ingram and Juho Markkanen, which doesn't really strike fear into me. Connor Ingram as your starting goaltender doesn't scare me in the Oilers. Again, just can't figure out that goaltending issue. But here we go, guys. Ready to start round one of the Western Conference playoffs on home ice. Let's see if we can get it underway and started on the right foot here. First period, that's not the right foot there. Savoie and Draisaitl scoring their top six, stepping up when needed. Second period, McDavid scores there as well. And we are now in a 3-0 hole in the first game of the playoffs. Peyton Krebs scores shorthanded, but Draisaitl answers right back, keeps the 3-goal lead for Edmonton, and I really don't foresee us coming back. I'm going to give us until like the 7-minute mark before I just call this quits. They get a power play, and yeah, we're going to go ahead and sim it out. Dvorak does score one to maybe give us some hope with 3 minutes left. It was 4-2. We needed 2 more. Draisaitl scores an empty netter, and it's a 5-2 victory for the Edmonton Oilers, and that's one I want to quickly take a look at as Darlene Zegras. Oh my God, the first line got shelled. Our first line got absolutely bombarded. Holy smokes. And it might be a time to say, Chernak, more defensive guy, why don't you go ahead and swap here with Darlene? And I'm fine with that. McDonald and Darlene is a good offensive pairing, and then Chernak and Drysdale getting us the +2. Chernak hopefully will, getting him out there against the Draisaitl's and McDavid, because the rest of the Oilers don't scare me, right? It was Savoie on the second line, sure, but McDavid and 2 Draisaitl goals. I mean, that's 3 of their goals came from the top line. Our top line didn't do anything offensively, and hoping that is not going to spell a trend here. Now here we go, game number 2, one we have to win on home ice. Here we go. First period, 1-1. There we go. Pete Montgomery on the power play gets us an early lead, but Riley Tuft on the fourth line scores for them. Their first line stayed quiet, finally. Second period, no goals were scored, so a bit more defense in this one from us, which is fantastic. Edmonton's Connor Ingram still playing out of his skull. We have a massive shot advantage as well, so you'd think that at some point we've got to break through Connor Ingram, right? He's an 82 overall versus 86 Demko. I mean, we got to break through Connor Ingram. We get another power play, and there's 2 power play goals for us. The first power play unit is clicking. Pete Montgomery up there, Santavori up there. They score to make it 2-1. And with 4 minutes to go here in this third period, can we rely on Demko with just a minute to go? Yes, we can. A 2-1 victory. Phenomenal performance there. And then Drysdale and Chernak were a -1, but it certainly wasn't as bad as it was prior. I'm definitely satisfied. I mean, we only allowed 1 goal, and it was from Riley Tuft on the fourth line. So I'm really not upset about that at all. A solid 2-1 defensive victory. And if it's going to be a low-scoring series, that benefits us because of our defensive coach, our defensive setup. Our goaltender is better, so I think Edmonton's going to have to try and score a lot of goals to beat us. And if this series turns into 2-1, 3-2, I would benefit us in that kind of series. Here we go. Heading to Edmonton after tying the series 1-1. Can we take our first series lead? First lead of the game goes to nobody. In the first period, anyway. We'll see who the first goal goes to. But again, another solid defensive period from both teams. Second period sees Edmonton's McDavid scoring one there on the power play. So a lot of power play goals going in on this series. But Vladimir Tarasenko, who we signed to make one run at it, is going to tie the game for us. We kill the penalty from Edmonton. We get a power play ourselves. Oh my God, it's a long one, but we cannot score on it. Still 1-1, but McDonald scores in the crease, crashes it there from his defensive position to get us a 2-1 lead. And can we rely on Demko? Daddy Demko carries us to another 2-1 victory and a good comeback there in the third period, being down 1-0. And their first line was a minus, which is what we want to see. We want to make McDavid and the boys play some defense. We don't want McDavid to be free skating, playing offense, right? And back-to-back 2-1 wins get us a 2-1 lead in this series. Another game on the road here. Let's get it started. First period, 1-0 lead, Taro Santovori. The power play, man, it's been a very, very gritty, tight-knit series. Other than the first game, after I put Chernak up on that first line, it's been tight, and it's been power plays that have actually decided who's been leading. Right now, it's us after 1. After the second period, it's 2-2. Quinn Clark scoring, but not before Draisaitl. And then Fabro, short-handed, is gonna score, and it's anybody's game going into the third. But again, we are dominating with the shots. Connor Ingram is playing well, and it means Riley Tuft, with his second big goal of the series, is going to score, but not before Santovori ties it for us. And Trevor Zegras popping up with a rare goal from the first line. Edmonton's power play is killed. Our penalty kill does the job and gives Tarasenko an opportunity to give us that insurance marker. It's now a 2-goal lead, and I said this series has been defensive. Both teams seeming to have found their shooting sticks. 6-3 victory. A big performance from us in the third period. 4 goals in the third period to get us a 6-3 lead. So a solid game. And again, if we're allowing 2-3 goals a game, I'm going to give us the benefit of the doubt and say that we're going to do very well in these postseason. At least in this series against the Oilers, as we are now 1 game from moving on to the next round. Trevor Zegras, like I said, pops up with a rare goal, but he's a bona fide playmaker, right? He assists Santovori, he assists Tomasino, and Tomasino's been kind of quiet from what I can see, so hopefully he pops up big in a game where we need him. Phil the Thrill Tomasino. Yes, since Kessel is retired, I can now anoint Phil Tomasino, Phil the Thrill. First period, nothing. Very defensive, and Edmonton actually has the lead in shots. Second period, and there we go. McTavish short. Wow, a lot of power play opportunities, but a lot of shorties as well. And there's Christian Dvorak popping up with a very timely goal to get us that insurance marker we probably need. A power play to extend our lead goes begging. Edmonton's does as well, but there's Draisaitl popping up with a huge goal to cut the lead back to 1. Halfway through the period, Edmonton's got another power play. Their backs are against the wall now with 5 minutes to go. It's still 2-1 to your Ducks with 3 minutes, 2 minutes, 1 minute, seconds left, and we advance with our third 2-1 victory of this series. And shout out to Thatcher Demko. Absolutely phenomenal performance from him as he allowed 5 goals, then he allowed 1 goal, 3 goals, 1 goal. He just stepped it up after that first game, and I honestly credit to Eric Chernak. Maybe this is not his last year. Maybe it is not the last year of Eric Chernak, guys. But to take a quick look here, Thatcher Demko, 928 and a 2.00. What was his playoffs like last season? So far, he's been better than he was last season, and I will take it for sure. Kind of same average here, 24 games, 5 games. Okay, sure. But a really good first series from Demko, and if he continues to play like he has, I'm going to be very excited for the future of this playoff run. Anyway, round number 2, it almost felt like a formality that we'd get out of round number 1. Round number 2, up against the Calgary Flames, and the San Jose Sharks were eliminated. Guys, the San Jose Sharks, our new budding rivalry, they were eliminated in 6 by this very Calgary Flames team. Taking a quick look at the playoff bracket, Nashville and Kirill Kaprizov moves on to face the Dallas Stars. Wesley Pope is a member of the Sharks, and he gets eliminated by the Flames. And man, that's tough to see there for them. Let's keep it rolling here. What do the Calgary Flames have to topple the best team in the NHL? Now, probably, and they did it in 6. It wasn't 7 lucky bounce, right? Calgary Flames. I was going to San Jose Sharks. Calgary Flames here have Denis Gurianov, Elias Lindholm, and Matthew Tkachuk. A pretty solid first line. Johnny Gaudreau still sticking around at 35-81. Seems to be pretty good. Physically, not great, but you don't expect Johnny Gaudreau to be very physical. But other than that, he can put in some points. Only has 1 so far, playing with this former Buffalo Sabre, Dylan Cousins. His first season, must have signed there in free agency. 53 points in the regular season, 17 goals. Average second line with Drake Batherson as well. Benoit Olivier Gruel, who's a former Anaheim Duck, went to Calgary after we let him walk and has put up back-to-back 40-plus point seasons. So he gave him more ice time. They are getting rewarded. He's playing with Isaac Lundstrom, who looks like he was a former Duck as well at one point. Yeah, he was here for our first season. We let him walk, and he signed with Calgary and has been there ever since. Wow. And then Cody Peters, who I don't believe we've ever had. I was going to say it's going to be the former Anaheim Ducks third line, but they've got Adam Beckman, Raphael Lavoie, and Max Jones. Oh my God. Did all of the former Ducks just go to Calgary? We got Jones, Lundstrom, and Benoit Olivier Gruel, who honestly, if they put Max Jones up here, it would be the revenge third line. Holy smokes. Defensively, expecting to see some of our former players, but alas, I do not. Vakanainen with Korjak, Thomas Chabot with Peak, and then Robertson with Bjornfoot. So they must have something here without Thomas Chabot on the second pairing. That's crazy. And in goal, they got Jeremy Swayman, who's now an elite goaltender, has played super well in his last two seasons with Calgary. He's really found himself, guys. And then scratched, they have Mike Riley there as well, and Nicholas Camano. Neither of those guys are going to play. Well, let's go ahead and get into this one. They might be another tight defensive team based on how good Swayman plays, and they have the edge in goaltending. For the first time in a long time, we do not have the edge in goaltending, but I would give us the edge in the defensive core. Thomas Chabot's good, but playing on the second line confuses me. Here we go. Game number 1 of the Western Conference semifinals, which is a lot better to say than round 2. Tkachuk scores as I'm previewing it before I can even press A. First shot of the game, first shot of the series goes in, and that's the only one going in as they take 10 more. We take 15. Second period, Gruel scores in the revenge game for him. Shots are still in Anaheim's favor, but we just can't break through this Calgary Flames defense. First 5 minutes go by, and Calgary gets a power play that they cannot score on. First half of the period goes by, and we're encroaching on 30 shots, and Riker Evans cuts the lead to 1. We get a power play opportunity. The shots are flying. We can't beat Swayman. Swayman is shutting the door on us, and he is officially going to close it on this game. 2-1 final. I can't really fault anybody defensively. I mean, Drysdale with a -2. The first line just didn't show up. Neither team really had that much offense. A 2-1 loss and a little bit of a taste of our own medicine here. We lost the first game in the last series too. I'm not going to push the panic button yet. What I might do is move Dahlin back up, though. Defensively, we're fine. I'm not too afraid of this team. Chernak will now go play with McDonald again, and we'll go back to the lines that got us to be the second best team in the NHL. We need a little bit more offense, too. Dahlin's going to give that to us. First period, there's more offense for sure, and it's a 5-goal first period. Lindholm banks 2, Peters scores 1, but then McTavish and Tarasenko, so our middle six, steps up as their power play gets them the lead. Hopefully our even strength goals, it's 2-1 in even strength goals, right? Maybe we'll get a power play goal of our own here in the second period. We do not, but Chernak ties it on that second pairing, and it is anybody's game heading into the third period. Shots again in our favor. We are taking the majority of the shots, and now we get a power play, but we can't take the lead. But Rasmus Dahlin moved up to that first pairing. Then Olin Zellweger gives us the beautiful insurance marker because Gurianov is going to pull one back for Calgary. Holy smokes, what a series right now. Zegras scores another timely goal to give us the insurance marker. It is 6-4, and with a minute to go, we are going to finish this one out, and it's a 6-4 final. And holy smokes, did anybody not? Yeah, everybody was a plus, but Riker Evans +4, Tomasino Zegras. Wow. The third defensive pairing had a great game for sure. And like I said, if they simulate well, they can stay together for as long as they want to stay together, right? As long as they want average contracts, I will give it to them. The second they start asking for like $3 million, maybe I'll move on. But it is 1-1 as we head to the Saddle Dome in Calgary. First road game of the series. Who will be the victor as the spoils were shared in Anaheim? First period, 2-1 to Calgary. Zegras, but Robertson and Cousins. And ever since I moved Dahlin up to that first pairing, there's been a bucket load of goals in this series. Second period, Quinn Clark ties it, and again, anybody's game in the third period. Calgary outshooting us massively as a power play gets traded, but we capitalize on it with Santivori scoring to make it 3-2. Calgary's power play is going to get stifled yet again. Halfway through the period, lots of opportunities for both teams. It is 3-2 though for the Anaheim Ducks. I'm calling on you, Demko. Show me why we call you daddy. With 1 minute to go, Lavoie is going to score. And we are going into an overtime period with 43 seconds left. Calgary has electrified the building, tying it 3-3. The shots are early favor Anaheim. More shots for us here early in this overtime period. Another 10 minutes goes by. 5 minutes to go in the period. Shots are even at 40 apiece. Who's going to blink first? 1 minute, and we're heading into a double overtime. 40-40. 3-3. This is a tight series. This is gonna be a battle. This overtime is gonna be massive. This next goal on the power play comes from Santivori, and Captain Clutch Tero Santivori gets us a 4-3 win in double overtime. Oh my word. Nobody was negative. Everybody was positive. Holy smokes. What a back-to-back here. We lose 2-1 in the first one, but then 6-4 win. 4-3 double overtime win, and we're up 2-1 in the series as every other series has a 3-0 lead for somebody. Here we go. Can we take a 3-1 lead in this series, or will Calgary claw back to 2-2? Sensible betting would say it's going to be 2-2 after this one, but since I'm Anaheim Ducks general manager, I'd kind of like it to be 3-1. First period, 1-1 after 1. Peters scores, Drysdale scores just at the intermission break, basically. 1-1, shots favor Anaheim. It's been a really, really good series, guys. Second period, nobody scores. And again, a tied game going into the third. It's come down to one period. Basically, this entire series as Vladimir Tarasenko scores on the power play and Tallinn scores as well. We found our offense and the defense has shaped up in these last two games. Calgary needs 2 goals here in the last 5 minutes to force overtime. Can Demko shut the door this time? With a minute to go, Krebs scores and gives us the win 4-1, 3-1 before the empty netter, but I'll take the Krebs goal without a doubt. And we are now up 3-1 in this series. A trip to face the Nashville Predators in the Western Conference Finals awaits, and over in the East, it's Buffalo versus the Rangers. Can Buffalo make back-to-back cups? Can we make back-to-back cups? Too early to talk about that, as we have one more win remaining against the Calgary Flames. Can we do it? Let's do it. Come on. I'm excited. I hope you guys are pumped too, because I am having a good time here. First period, 1-1. Kachuk scores, but McTavish answers. And a lot like last game, they scored early, we responded, and then we just hunkered down, and I relied on Demko, who made 16 saves in the first period. Second period, and Trevor Zegras has popped up more and more with goals. Tomasino, I don't think, has scored one so far, so Zegras has had to carry the load as our first line center. You love to see it. And Zellweger from the slot gets us an insurance marker that we so desperately needed. I trust Demko. Oh, I accidentally pushed the B button. Not going to finish the game. We need Demko to step up here. He's got to just continue to play well as peak. Demko, come on, buddy. I'm believing in you. Shut the door. Keep it closed. They're knocking. Keep it closed. Do not answer that door. And Peyton Krebs with another empty netter, and we are moving on to the Western Conference Finals. I don't know if you guys saw, I had a look of sheer terror. I thought that was going to be another choke in the final minute, but no, it is Peyton Krebs getting us to the Western Conference Finals to face Kirill Kaprizov's Nashville Predators, which is so weird to say. So weird to say. I mean, I could see it someday. I mean, I don't think Kirill Kaprizov's going to be in Minnesota forever. I mean, after the recent contract disputes, I could see him going somewhere else. But Nashville awaits us in the Western Conference Finals. It is Rangers, it is Sabres over in the Eastern Conference, but holy smokes. Kaprizov, Zachary Greer, and Eli Tolvanen is one gnarly first line. Look at Zachary Greer. Look at Kirill Kaprizov. Oh my God, 94 passing, 93 offensive awareness, and 95 wrist shot accuracy. 94 passing, 93 offensive awareness, 91 wrist shot accuracy, and he's got the defensive awareness and stick checking to match. And then throw in Eli Tolvanen, who's another. Oh my God, how are they doing points-wise? 13 points, 8 points and 12 points, but a goal per game for Kirill Kaprizov. I'm gonna move Chernak up prematurely. I don't think we can win a shootout against this team. Svechnikov, Ryan Strome, and Nino Niederreiter, who's a 74. He's just kind of being carried here. Luke Kunin is carrying Martinuk and Vinny Hinostroza, 35-year-old Hinostroza, 36-year-old Niederreiter. Jalen Martinuk is pretty good. Julian Burgundy, Zachary Lahiru, and Matthew Joseph. So, I mean, honestly, they got 3 amazing centers. I might move Kunin up to center, Svechnikov, and Niederreiter. But again, their wingers leave a lot to be desired. But this first line is ridiculous. Their defense, again, a little okay. Ryan Murray with John Marino. Artem Kozlov with Samuel Joland. Kozlov, 15 penalty minutes, 3 points is a plus, though. And then Braden Schneider and Ned Melnick. In goal, they've got John Gibson, and here we go. Can John Gibson stop us from making the Stanley Cup Finals? He failed to do it last time when we met him in the second round. Actually, no, I think it was 2 years ago. It wasn't last year, but it was 2 years ago, and we absolutely bombarded him. Whew, this is going to be a tough series. I am looking at that first line, guys, and that is a nasty-looking first line. We are going to just instantly put Chernak and Drysdale together, McDonald and Dahlin back together. It should be a good one, guys. Here we go. Home ice advantage, thankfully, is ours. They kind of stumbled into the playoffs, but so far, they've been pretty electric. I do want to take a look, though, at their team stats. Have they been scoring a ton, or have they been defensive? Let's go Western Conference here. Goals for per game. Yep, they're scoring a ton. Oh my God, 3.894, 1.89 against. I mean, we're close with 3.34 and 2.3 against, but damn, 17 goals. 17 goals against in 9 games. In 9 games, they've barely allowed 2. They haven't allowed 2 per game. That's ridiculous. Their power play hasn't been good, but their penalty kill has been solid. So we'll see. Maybe special teams will play a big role in this series because they have been insane offensively and defensively. And you know what that tells me? Most of their stuff has been done at even strength, which is very scary. Game 1, though, let's get it started. Western Conference Finals. First period, 1-0 as Peyton Krebs scores from the third line. Second period, oh my God. I was like, let's go. Good early lead. They scored from center ice, shorthanded. What the hell? Luke Kunin, Greer, and Marino scoring as well. So, yep, there's their third line center, first line center, and then Schneider and Marino scoring as well. And we are now down by 3 as we head into the third as Santavori gets us an early one. That sparks a talk of a comeback. But Kirill Kaprizov quickly dashes that, but Santavori will not be denied. It is a 2-goal game still, guys. Do not lose hope. Halfway through the period, it's a 2-1 advantage for Anaheim, but we're still down by 2. We're going to need 2 more goals here in the last 5 minutes. 4 minutes. Do we have any more goals? 3 minutes, 2 minutes, 1 minute on the power play, and we cannot get any more goals. That's unfortunate. Santavori took 10 shots in that game, which is ridiculous. Drysdale was a -3. Chernak was a -1. That's not what you want to see from Jamie Drysdale. -3. Maybe I need to move Rasmus Dahlin up because I cannot afford to have the offensive defenseman. We'll give him another game. We seem to find our legs. It was just one bad period cost us that one, right? Other than that second period, right? I know I can't take too many moral victories out of a 5-3 loss, but here we go. We've lost the first game of every series so far, and we've come back to win it every time. Can we do the same thing here? First period, 1-0 as Ellie Tolvanen on the power play scores. Second period, okay, there we go. I thought it was all yellow. I was really worried. Pete Montgomery and then Dvorak on the power play, but Nino Niederreiter scores for them, and it is a tied game heading into the third. Huge period here. We cannot afford to go down 2-0 in this series, and Peyton Krebs gets us the lead. It is 3-2, and Callan Lynn scoring from the fourth line gets us the insurance, and Drysdale, a little bit of a taste of their own medicine, a big period when it matters for your Anaheim Ducks. A 5-2 lead with 5 minutes to go should be enough. Demko, I'm counting on you. He shuts the door after a bad first game, comes in clutch in the second game, allowing 2 goals on 26 shots. And it's 5-2 after 5-3. What a series this one's going to be. I don't really care about scouting right now. It's 1-1 in both series. We're now in Smashville, ready to go. First period, 1-1. Tarasenko gets the building quiet early, but Tolvanen sends them into the break with a little bit of momentum. Second period, no goals scored, but a lot of shots for your Anaheim Ducks, though. That bodes well. A power play for Nashville is still on, and they get the lead, though. 2-1, make it 3-1 as they score another power play goal, and we just can't afford to be taking these penalties. Absolutely insane from John Gibson right now. Nino Niederreiter scores, but really, this is not a 4-1 game. This is an absolute steal from John Gibson. 40 saves on 41 shots. Demko did not cover himself in glory there. What a freaking game from Gibson. 976 save percentage. He saved 40 shots. What a game. That is ridiculous. That's just Gibson stealing a game. I hope Demko can steal us a game here, as we have officially dropped the first time after game 1. So we've lost game 1. We've won the next 4. We lost game 1. We won the next 4. This time that trend will not continue. Whew. Game in Nashville. We need to tie the series up at 2 apiece. I'm not going to make any changes. We're going to sit with it as it is. Again, Gibson stole that game for them for sure. 40 saves on 41 shots. First period, no goals scored as Gibson continues to dominate. Gibson finally has the fire in his stomach to beat us and play well in the playoffs. For the first time in John Gibson's career, he's playing well in the playoffs, and of course, it's against us. Second period, 1-1 though. Strome and McTavish gets to Gibson. Finally, they took the lead, and then 15 minutes later, we're going to score 1-1, and good lord, the shots are so heavily in our favor. We need some bounces to go our way. Luke Kunin's going to score on the power play for Nashville, and now we're down 2-1 after another game where we are dominating the shooting. A power play opportunity, and we can't tie it on it. With 6 minutes, 5 minutes, we just need 1 to force overtime. 3 minutes, and Eli Tolvanen gets the insurance marker as we're pushing for 1. Nino Niederreiter gets the empty netter. 37 saves on 38 shots. I can't believe Gibson is playing so well. We need to do something. I'm moving Dahlin back up to that. We need goals. We need scoring. We need offense. We can't beat Gibson right now. Back-to-back 35-plus shot games, and we've scored twice. We've taken, almost 80 shots in the last 2 games and scored twice? That cannot continue. That cannot, and for our sake, it cannot continue. It just can't. 3 games to go, 3 games to win. Buffalo looks like they're heading back to the Stanley Cup Finals. Can we meet last year's opponent? We need to meet the moment right now, though. First period, no goals are scored, and another 20-shot period that we cannot beat John Gibson. He is insane right now. Second period, and they scored their 30 shots through 2, and we can't score a single one. There's McTavish with the one we needed. Breakthrough, boys. Score multiple goals. Come on. I just want to see a second goal go up on that board. We cannot allow Gibson to allow 1 goal in 3 straight games. The offense needs to show up. With 6 minutes to go, somebody needs to score here. 4 minutes, 3 minutes, 2 minutes. Will it be overtime? 1 minute? It looks like it's overtime as Dick Gibson with another 39 save performance so far. This one is huge. 1 goal against, we're out of the playoffs. 1 goal for, we live to fight another day. Here we go. Overtime. Can Gibson keep his heroics up? We have a power play. We can't score on it. 5 minutes go by, and there it is. McTavish scores again. Mason McTavish with an absolutely heroic single effort. It's been all McTavish this series. Krebs and Ricard Santa. It's literally been McTavish in this series. We survived to fight another day. We live to fight another day. McTavish, I mean, I don't want to break up the third line, but I want to give McTavish the ice time he probably deserves. I'll move Montgomery down to this third line because McTavish definitely deserves to be playing more minutes. I mean, I just got to figure out who's better at faceoffs. It is Dvorak, so we'll leave McTavish on the wing. But oh my word, we still got a +2 here, right? McTavish has been so good for us, and we're going to need him and more of that. I know I shouldn't change with what we got, but we need to do a little something to score. We need to break through Gibson, and we survived long enough so that maybe Gibson's hot streak is at least cooled down a bit. Demko with a great performance in that one. It cannot be understated that 1 goal against is what we need, especially against a team like the Predators. First period, no goals scored. 11-11 in shots, so not as many shots from us this time. Wow, though, it's a defensive battle for sure. Second period, Nashville with 2 goals, looking likely to head to the Stanley Cup unless we have a comeback in us. We get an early power play. Can we score one? We can't. Nashville gets a power play. Can we please kill it? Can we please get them off the power play? We're on the power play for like 8 straight minutes. Halfway through the period, we've not made a peep. Gibson, though, still locking down the door with 5 minutes to go, 4 minutes to go. Tesoro Santavori scores one for us. Do we have one more in us with a minute to go? Do we have a hero? We do! It's Trevor Zegras! Trevor Zegras saves us with 5 seconds to go! We're going to overtime in a game we sorely need to win. Oh my God, our playoff lives were 5 seconds from being dashed, and the momentum is now in our favor. Can we keep it up? We do! Trevor Zegras scores 40 seconds into overtime, and we have forced a Game 7. A Game 7 is on the horizon. Trevor freaking Zegras. He is clutch. What a performance from him. Back-to-back overtime wins. Holy smokes. And Buffalo has sealed their fate. They're going to the Stanley Cup. Who will they play? Comes down to one game in Anaheim, one night in California. Let's go. First period is going to be a big one. We need to get the lead early. First period. Oh my God. It is 3-0 after 1. We need something huge here. Otherwise, we're looking likely to get bounced. After all that, come on, we cannot go out this way. Second period, no goals scored. Gibson is just too good right now. We cannot break through John Gibson. He's literally the reason that this series is going to Nashville so far. But McTavish scores 1. We've got time to make a comeback. We just need another one right away. We need one as soon as possible. One more goal. Come on, boys. One more goal. 5 minutes to go. 4 minutes. We need 2. We need 2 goals. 2 minutes. 1 minute. And there's not enough left. McTavish did score to get us the lead, but he was a -1, and maybe it was a mistake to leave him on that second line. Maybe I should have left with what had worked. But it worked for back-to-back games, right? We won the one with him on the third line. We won one with him on the second line. We just couldn't keep it going, and what a series. I'm pretty sure John Gibson saved $500 in 7 games. I'm not even kidding. If we take 500 and divide that by 7, that might be a little much. But 250 saves in 7 games means he was making 35 saves a game. I'd have to say that's probably accurate. He's made 250 saves in that series, and there goes our cup defense. Game 7 to Nashville after an amazing... guys, I thought it was going to be written in the stars. I really did. I was so excited. I was... Trevor Zegras with goals 30 seconds apart, basically. 5 seconds left in regulation, and then 30 seconds into overtime. And then we just come out flat, and we're down 3-1, and we only score 1. And really, it was just Gibson having the most insane series of his life. The most insane series you might ever see a goaltender per play. Taking a look at Nashville here, taking a look at their goalies. I mean, Gibson's got a .938 and a .205. He's only lost 4 times in this playoffs, and those were 3 thanks to us. I mean, he's been absolutely ridiculous in this postseason. I don't know how he's doing it, what's going on here, but man, he's really, it's Gibson. It's Gibson. It just had to be freaking Gibson. It couldn't have been Jeremy Swayman. It had to be Gibson, didn't it? 3 1-goal games. We scored 1 in 3 games. 4-1, 4-1, 2-1 in overtime, right? We scored 1 in regulation for 3 straight games. Scored 2 in the last 3 minutes of this one, and then 1 in overtime, and then scored 1 in this one. I mean, we only scored... When you score 1 goal in regulation in 4 games, there's not much you can do about it there. Can't really fault too much of the team building. We got this far. We just couldn't... We just couldn't get over the Gibson hump, and I'm hoping... I just want to see the Buffalo Sabres win the Cup. 2-0 a game. They're up 3-0. final. Oh, Nashville pulls it back from being down 3-0, down 3-2. Buffalo wins it 4-3, and you got to think that it might have been different had we been there, had we been able to close that series out and take our comeback momentum and do something with it. But guys, that is all the time I have for this one. Make sure to leave a like if you enjoyed it. I know I did. I'm coming off my emotional high right now. I'm going to be kind of mellow for the next 20 minutes. Make sure to subscribe if you want to see some more, and I will see you guys in the next one.
This a free for all before we fall. This a free for all before we fall. Took some L's, but I guess you can't win them all. Getting busy, been so busy, but always keeping